Hello, Internet, and welcome back to the Pursuit of the Black Kestrel, our bi-weekly Pathfinder 2nd Edition game. Thanks for joining us here this lovely Sunday evening, Monday morning, wherever you might be. We will get started here in a second. I'm going to go ahead and talk about the games and everything we have going on this week. Specifically, I think our next game is going to be on Wednesday. We will have the next session of Tidefall, our 5th edition ongoing campaign that's going to start at 8:30 Eastern time. And then that'll be it until next Sunday, when we'll have Slang 101, our Monster of the Week campaign that Savannah runs. We won't have this Saturday. We won't have another Saturday nights because got family coming into town, and unfortunately, they didn't want to play. So
I tried.
We tried. But yeah, so that's our schedule for the week. We might have some Valentine's Day streaming later on. I'm sure somebody will find something goofy to do to follow up last year's Dream Daddy stream. But yeah, does anybody have anything they want to plug or promote before we get started? I'm not going to go through announcements and stuff, or won't do like introductions since we're on our 3rd session, but if anyone who does things off the channel wants to plug anything, go for it.
Me and RJ are on Indoor Adventures on Mondays and Tuesdays. But next week, on the the 19th, which is next week, Wednesday, I will be on Nerd Immersion's channel doing a D&D 5th edition game with Jordan with PH, and it'll be super fun. Watch
Nice. Anyone else have anything going on they want to plug? Nope. All right. Well, without any further stalling, let's jump back into the game. Last time on Pursuit of the Black Kestrel, your crew of travelers, explorers, adventurers had arrived in the Smuggler's Haven, I guess is the best description for it, of Port Prodatus, a den of scum and villainy in the off the coast of the country of Vathus. You have arrived here for the purpose of seeking out a crime boss known as Istus. You were told by your captain that they might have some information that would lead you to the Black Kestrel and the last location of the notorious pirate Crimson Drake in your pursuit of the Heart of Death. You made your way to the tavern /inn/brothel at the center of this town called the Lord's Daughter, where you, through a series of rather blunt investigative questions, found the members of this criminal organization known as the Spiders. You know Istus to be involved with, and introduced yourselves under the guise of wanting to make a deal with them. Through some magical influences, you were able to gain their trust, and they agreed to introduce you to their leader. Meanwhile, along the way that night, our resident sorcerer, Zari, had a brief conversation with her patron, and the rest of you got as much sleep as you could in this brothel, trying to ignore as much of the goings on with the inner workings of this business as possible. The next day, you met with Istus, who was revealed to be a drow, older drow woman, the leader of this drow organization of criminals, the Spiders, and she offered you a deal. She would give you the information, what information she had that might help point you in the direction of the Black Kestrel. In exchange, you would help her with a group of unruly but recently organized bugbears that have been honing in on some of the Spiders' dealings within Port Prodatus. You tentatively agreed and went on your way. And that's where we're going to pick up our session today, just outside of the manor house, the abandoned manor house in Law's Grave that the Spiders have taken up as their center of business. And the five of you, well, the four of you at first, are just outside the fence, have been left alone by Manos, Florence, and Ellie, the three drow that had been kind of arranging this meeting. You reunite, and then shortly thereafter, your resident rogue joins you as well.
Well, I think that went swimmingly.
Yes, all things considered, we did not have to stab anyone yet. Although it seems like we may have to in order to get the information we desire.
Just some bugbears. They're hardly people.
Looks over to her incredulously. Wow. Just wow.
What?
It hasn't even been 5 minutes into the sessions and I'm already gonna have to say fucking nobles, huh?
So, what's the plan?
Now they want us to go kill some bugbears that are bugging the members of the Spiders in the town. They said it's on the far side of the spire in a cave.
Seems easy enough.
What
Did
do you
find
get?
out anything sneaky? Looks sneaky.
Bits and pieces. Nothing immensely fascinating yet, although the basement, cellar, whatever it is, behind a door, is very, very tightly locked up, and there's at least one trap attached to the door. So there's
Perhaps
something in
that's
there.
where they keep their coin.
I'd love to know. It's not their armory because I found that.
Anything good?
Pretty standard equipment. I'll pull out the short sword that I stole.
Perhaps not right in the view of the household.
What are they gonna do?
I can't prove it's theirs.
Call the cops? I don't think they want the cops around here.
Don't you think they'd try to kill us, brother?
Try being the key word, sister.
Did you see how many there were inside? They do not relish the idea of having encounter out here, just within shouting distance of their base.
Yes, let us move to the other side of the spire before we start conspiring.
Boo.
Boo.
Did I don't remember. Did I see anybody else while I was in the house, or?
I don't think you ever came within line of sight of them because you were avoiding people. But you all would have seen a few other people in the house, or noted there were other people in the place. It looked like it probably could hold upwards of maybe like 30 or so might be living there. But at the time that you guys were going in, you maybe saw less than 10 maybe 7 or 8 different people, including the
Oh, because I found
3
like some
that brought you in.
barracks or something.
Yeah. So there are probably a fair amount of people living there, but it doesn't seem like they're ever there. They're there at one time. But the 5 of you leave the immediate eye shot of the manor house and begin making your way, following kind of up towards the kind of middle tier of this port city that's built onto the side of this cliff or this rock formation growing out of the mist. You follow the directions that you were given by Istis and Manos as you were leaving, heading towards where you believe the bugbears and their mysterious leader might be taking up hold. Do you still have the food cart with you? Are you dragging that around with you?
You, if I remember correctly, made a wheel fall off, and we didn't have time to find a wheel.
You were going to try to fix it. Okay, I just making
so we
sure
left it outside that one shop.
Yeah,
by the dog.
Sure. Okay. I just want to make sure that we weren't still trying to drag that around.
If you are very attached to the card, Xander, I could potentially help you fix it.
If we don't have to leave this port running for our lives, then yes, I would like the card to be fixed. Because it has food in it.
Will it still have food by the time we get back to it?
Most likely not.
I don't know how it works. Okay. Every other cart I've seen around town where I grew up always had food in it.
You have gone hunting in the wilds and such, yes?
Yeah, but there was no carts out there, so I had to.
But when you make a kill, you bring it back to someone in town to
No, I do
cook.
that myself.
So you do realize someone does that, but they give it to someone else who then takes it and puts it in the cart.
Never seen that happen.
That is all it is. You do not necessarily have to see something to believe in it.
I love the mindset of the nobility that if I don't see it happening, it doesn't exist.
So do the nobles not believe in the gods then?
I don't.
Of course we do. But that's another story. So a bugbear is some mixture of a insect and a bear?
Do I know anything
my.
about bugbears?
Oh my.
Do they fly like the scorpions? Oh, no.
Go ahead and make me. Do you have any? What lore skills do you have?
Tanning. I know nature. I'm proficient in nature.
Nature will probably be fine. Yeah, let's go with that instead of tanning because I don't want to think about where your tanning knowledge of bugbears came from. So yeah, the nature works.
Ooh, an 11. That's a terrible roll.
That is pretty bad. I think you might have heard the name bugbear used before. I don't think you've ever encountered one. And you don't really know much about their anatomy. But I will give you the basic knowledge of knowing that they are a sapient race of creatures and not bugs.
And definitely people.
Yeah.
So they're a race of people? And they allow themselves to be called bugbears.
That's just what they are, though. That's just what they are, though.
I don't know.
It is
Has
a
anyone
name. You
ever
allow
asked?
yourselves to be called humans.
Yeah, has anyone ever asked a bugbear what they're called? They might have something completely different.
Could
Well, I
be
don't think we
bug.
should find out.
Humans tend to impose their own beliefs on everyone else.
And yet it sticks.
Fascinating.
I don't hear anyone complaining.
Who's complaining?
this stage whisper to Anais and saying, like, we should not tell the humans what names we have for them when they are not around.
I think Anais tries very hard not to laugh, and it
Same.
probably doesn't work.
Well, does anyone have any issues with this mission, I should say?
No, with bugbears or with killing?
With killing of a sentient creature.
Who among us has not done that at some point? Does
That
anyone
sure-
look at me weird when I say that? He's like, murder.
Samek has to think if he's killed anything sentient.
Zari tries to look like she's, like, what do you mean? But, like, she's trying to think of how she should be acting in this moment. And it just looks like she's, like, thinking.
Ah, a rare expression.
Well,
No,
then we have
just
no
me?
problems.
I have protected innocents from brigands and such in the past, but I would perhaps like to try to avoid being, the clear aggressors in this situation. But I also have very little hope for a diplomatic resolution to the issue.
Was that because who our diplomat is?
No, but we are delving into the criminal underworld, and I do not think. Did not get the impression that relations were at the point where they could be mended.
Well, really, the problem is someone has organized these creatures, and, well, if you take that cog out of the equation, then perhaps it will solve the issue.
Snake without a head and all that stuff, right?
Is dead?
Bloody unions.
It's the general idea, yeah.
Hmm.
What happens if it has more than one head?
It's the Hydra.
You don't want to cut those off?
Hail Hydra. What? Didn't say anything, that's good.
We're not making that a thing. That's not in this setting.
Why not?
I suppose we could try. Sow some discord, or just convince them to do what we want.
I mean, Istis did say that they just want ensure that them taking over businesses and killing the spiders does not happen again. She did not outright say go and kill all the bugbears, but that was
Oh, well, that
certainly
changes
her
things
implication.
significantly.
But a dead bugbear can't kill or take over businesses.
I mean, yes, that is the perhaps simplest solution.
Can
but unless they have a necromancer with them, I do not think so.
They might. We could try talking to them.
As you're
Cool.
winding your way along the cliff face, you're reaching the outskirts of the city as this conversation is winding on. And a couple of things you're noticing as you're going. One, towards the edges of the city, the places closest to the cliff edges where you can look down into the endless drop into the fogs below. There are very few houses that seem to be actually resided in, that are there occupied in this area. Most of them are boarded up. It's pretty deserted over here. There are a couple like less than wealthy people, or some people that are down on their luck that probably are forced to live out here, that are kind of huddled up in some of these ramshackled buildings. But you notice a few things. One is the winds are beginning to pick up as you can see far in the distance, kind of the rolling fog storms proceeding along the horizon. It doesn't look like any are going to make it close enough to you to necessarily need to worry about that currently. But it does seem like the weather is kind of picking up. But on that same line, you notice that there is a very dense Kavar presence here. Not any that you'd have to necessarily worry about, like smaller, kind of like softball-sized insects that are swarmed and kind of clinging to the sides of buildings. You see some of them maybe are nesting within the abandoned homes. Something that you don't typically see in most cities. most guards and any city with some infrastructure tries to clear that out as much as they can. It looks like they're just sort of left to infestate the buildings here. It's not pleasant, but these are still bigger insects than you usually see nesting near settled places. But as you reach this portion of the city, you get a good view of this cliffside path that follows the non-worked plateaus of the middle tier of this spire that presumably lead towards the cave system that the bugbears use. So at this point, you will be, if you go any further, you'll be leaving the city and heading down those paths towards the cave.
Can I have Crow fly up and just keep an eye out? Ew, dragon squawk if he sees something dangerous or trouble.
Okay. Can Crow make a perception check?
Yeah, he has low light vision as well.
All right.
That is amazing. You can't kill him. He's unkillable.
Mm-hmm.
He's under the age of 16. Charles from the loop. You can't die if you're under the age of 16. RJ looked confused.
Read me off that perception roll once you got it.
Oh. 12.
12. Okay. I'll keep that in mind. But he begins to circle above, riding the gusts of wind and kind of soaring out over the cliff's edge and then circling back. He doesn't immediately begin to make any noises yet as anything that he would recognize as dangerous.
So what's the plan? Adventurers?
Depends. How do you want to approach them?
Am
I
I in
guess-
charge? Is that what's happening?
No, I know how I want to approach them. Rasp of steel as he pulls out the bastard sword.
As intriguing as that is, we should see how many of them there are first.
Aren't you better off when they don't know you're coming? Nice.
I could just take a peek inside.
Got
See
out
what's
their
what?
position.
Like jumping over that fence.
There's a tall fence.
And as far as I know, though I've not spent as much time in nature as you have, caves do not tend to have fences. So
Never know, there
it
could be
will
a
not be an
very
issue.
there could be a very advanced society down there. I'll take a peek.
Careful.
All right.
rabbit?
So, Anise, you are
you can't see my
going,
feet on stream.
you're going to sneak down the path and see if you can scout out
Yeah.
the location. Make a stealth check for me.
That would be a 29, good sir.
Wow. 29 is very good as you are silently heading down this path. Not a single stone is disturbed as you head down. It's fairly wide, maybe 4 or 5 feet, enough that you can walk down it. Not so much that you'd feel comfortable getting in any sort of confrontation on this path. But quietly, you proceed kind of around the bend until you are out of sight of your adventuring party. And there, at that curve, you catch your first sight of the caves. The whole kind of the shape of the spire kind of bends inward and then flares back out, and it's where it flares back out you can see it opens up into a larger plateau or cliff, and there you can see several cave entrances, and one kind of larger one towards the center, two smaller ones flanking it on either side. And you see standing outside that cave two tall, probably around 7 feet or so, fur-covered creatures with pointed, long ears, kind of squat faces, long hair draped down onto their shoulders, wearing leather armor and carrying some various poorly kept weapons. Currently looks like standing guard outside this cave entrance.
Is there any way I can get past them? Or is it's not wide enough, probably?
You could get past them. I mean, it's wide enough that you could walk past. I mean, the entrance of the centermost caves that they are guarding is probably about 25-30 feet across. So the two of them, you could definitely step between. The issue that you're having right now is it is about the middle of the day. And though there are some shadows cast by the spires and the rocks above you, there's not a lot of cover between you and them. They don't seem to have noticed your approach up until this point, and they don't seem to have any notice of where you are at currently. But you gather if you start moving closer, that as quiet as you are, they're going to notice you.
Okay. Can I hear anything coming from any of the caves?
Make a perception check.
11.
11. You hear the droning of insects of Kavar along the cliff edges beneath you, and the rushing of wind sort of drowns out any sounds you think might be coming from those caverns.
Sorry, I was looking at my feeds to see if I had anything for this. I do not. The whisper
elves
elf.
have ears on their feet?
They do, in fact, surprisingly enough. Oh no, I was looking at the whisper elf thing, but it's for finding. It's like sensing undetected creatures.
Oh, okay.
That doesn't really help me. Okay. I don't want to get stabbed. I'll go back.
Okay. So with some idea of what is in store for you and your group, you head back and find them where you left them.
While that was going on, not because Savvy mentioned feats and I thought I'd check what I had, but because I totally knew I could do this, could I have spent 10 minutes assessing the area around to find what creatures are nearby, try and work out how many, with my survey wildlife feat?
Presence of creatures. Okay. Yeah. Make a survival check. The information's going to be limited here because you're in kind of a
Rocky area.
That, and it is an urban environment still because you are just outside of a city. But I think there is some information you can get here.
I'm getting better and better. 15?
15. Okay. I'd say with a 15, you notice it's hard, like I said, with the rocky environment. It's hard to get an idea of exactly what is nearby. Obviously, you know that there are Kavar in the vicinity. You can see droppings and leavings and like moltings of insects kind of mixed in with the dirt. That's not unprecedented. That's kind of what you'd expect. You do see along the path, you see Anais's footsteps, the slight ones that she left leading along the path, but you do notice kind of packed into the little bit of loose ground that there is, the comings and goings of multiple bugbear-like, bugbear-sized footsteps or footprints. That's pretty much all you see, though. It's just these large humanoid footsteps or footprints leading up and down this path. It's hard to get an exact number, but you gather they don't come this way too frequently. You maybe get 3 or 4 different trails that come and go.
Right. So there's bugbears up ahead, and there's insects around.
Yeah, that's the information you get. I think more specifically, you don't gather that they use this path or come into the town very often.
So we could potentially wait here. What did you find?
Not much. We have 2. I'll say, oh, here's what a bugbear looks like. Definitely a cave.
More like Galugans.
Sure. There's definitely a cave system. 1 large entrance, 2 others sort of sneaking off to the side. 2 bugbears guarding the large entrance. Leather armor, poorly kept weapons. Not much of a threat, but too bright currently for me to risk going any farther.
If I can get close enough, I might have a way to distract them. I can use some magical ventriloquism, make my voice seem as if it's coming from one of the other caves, send them to investigate.
Wait, what is the plan?
We don't have a full one yet.
Are we
right.
peaceful or are we genocide?
Well,
Show of hands, peaceful?
well, now hold on.
I think there's something in between those
I think
two.
there's a middle ground in between those two, Xander. I don't know, it depends. I was just trying to get a look at what we were dealing with, but it's almost impossible with the sun out like this. We could just walk in.
Tell them they were here to meet their leader or whatever.
For negotiations or something like that. Or I could kill them.
Hey now,
You can
we
help.
can kill them.
Yeah, we.
I just meant the first 2 so the rest don't hear us coming.
I'm sneaky
Congratulations.
and can attack from range and hit things.
So can I. So what do we want to do? Because if we want to distract them, I can keep going, get a look at what's inside.
Right, do we have to do this right this second, or shall we perhaps wait and see who comes to speak with them? We're assuming it's not a bugbear that is organizing them, yes? So they have to come in from town.
Not necessarily. What happens if they're already in there?
They
Well,
probably got
I
to
don't
come out
remember.
eventually.
I say we give it a little bit of time and observe better. That way we know their comings and goings. Perhaps there are other ways in and out of this cave. We don't want to be caught with our pants down, as the saying goes.
Would it be the first time some of us have been caught?
Are you insinuating that you've been caught with your pants down?
That was not what I said.
That's what it sounded like you said. Alright.
To each
Well,
their
what
own.
about-
So,
See, if I don't
So-
say anything, then they don't assume it's me.
We all know it is.
So,
right.
At least for nightfall, then that could make sneaking in a little easier.
Did you see anywhere where they look like they use torches? Or can they see in the dark?
Did I see any, like, I don't know, sconces? Chandeliers?
They
Torches
have a
on the
nice
wall?
light fixture in the game. As far as like any
The dimmer
fire or
switch.
anything, you obviously they were not carrying any torches or anything right now. I'd say with the perception check that you made, you did not notice anything.
Okay. That's fair. No idea. But I suppose it's only a matter of time. We'll find out. If they light the torches when it gets dark, then we know they have them.
We'll hole up, I guess.
I should also warn you, I do not have the ability to just make light today.
I do. It's fine.
Yeah,
Pulls out a
fire.
torch.
Also pulls out a torch.
Probably have. What is in the adventurer's pack?
5
Probably
torches.
have yeah, but
What are with these magic people and being like, oh man, I can't make light, we're screwed.
We'll be
Yeah,
fine.
so interesting indeed.
Should we split up? Get
Yeah,
the
that's my
vantage
question.
point?
Are you guys going to? Yeah, how are you going to split up? You got a couple of buildings around here that you could use as cover and be able to see the cliff path from. So you could hang out in one of those. Might have to contend with some of the bugs inside, but
I'm trying to find someone with highest ground and decent view.
I don't. The best high ground you're going to get, unless you scale the cliffside, is going to be the roof of one of these buildings.
And I'll edge the roof of one of these buildings. As
Okay.
much as scaling a cliffside sounds amazing, with my rolls, probably not.
Yeah, you can make it on top of one of the nearby roofs fairly easily. I'm not going to have you roll anything for that.
How high is the cliffside?
To the next level. I mean, the cliffs
Like
probably
a
go up
ledge or
another.
something?
There are some ledges, maybe 50 or 60 feet up from where you're at, that you could maybe be able to sit on comfortably and watch.
I ask because I have a climbing kit,
Yeah,
which
you
I
could
assume could
potentially-
be used for climbing.
yeah, you could do that and maybe climb up the cliffside a little bit if you wanted to.
Zari will hang out with Semic then. Whatever he's doing.
It's probably just checking where everyone's going, then entering a house, just ground level, shuts the door behind him.
And Zari's just in there too. Hello.
Hey.
So Zari and Samick, bottom floor of, we'll say the same building that Xander's on the top floor of. Anais is going to scale up a cliffside. Simon?
Well, I think the tall folk just walked off into buildings. Like, well, I guess I will take house across the street and get different vantage point.
Okay. And that one, there's a giant bug monster inside. Roll initiative. No.
No.
Yeah, you head inside there too. Again, the creatures, you see the either there are some Kavar in there currently, smallish swarms that you shoo off. They run as soon as you open the door. They don't seem like they're feral enough to try to attack you. And yeah, you find a semi-comfortable place, all of you, to get a vantage point. Anais, I'm going to need you to, if you're going to use your climber's kit to scale the
Gonna try.
cliffside, it will be an athletics check.
Oh boy.
Um,
Okay, I think I trained in that. Yeah. Do you get anything for my climbing kit?
it'll adjust the DC.
Okay.
Could
Hopefully.
we have waited until she's climbed up there in case she falls?
Oh no. She waits until everybody is not looking. Oh no.
You just stand there kind of surveying it for a bit.
That's a 6.
6.
We do have that legend point, don't we? The hero point. Just
You do
put
have
it-
the hero point.
No, I think
because
I
you got
probably...
people watching from across the road.
I think I probably start to climb, realize very quickly it's not gonna go well.
Yeah, so a 6 isn't quite a critical failure.
And
It's
give up.
just barely not a critical failure. So what I'll say with that is, yeah, you drive the first pit into the wall, and then begin the scale, kind of freehand trying to climb up. It's a very sheer cliff side. You can tell it's kind of been worn away by the constant gusts of wind and debris. And you get up maybe about 12 feet before you realize your hands kind of start shaking and your arms begin to give
I
way.
get down very gracefully, though.
Okay.
Probably.
Yeah, you're unable to make it up to the top.
I make it look like I did it on purpose.
I am picturing a little dog trying to run up a wall and realize it can't get up high enough.
It's very graceful, probably.
Yeah. Who are you going to hang out with?
Now I'll go to Simon's building since he's by himself.
Okay. All right. And you wait. So you guys are waiting until sunset?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's about 6 hours or so of chilling in these buildings, passing time, playing cards, whatever you choose to do while you're keeping watch.
Alone.
Yeah.
Bro.
You got your friend, yeah. It's just you and me, buddy.
You don't see anyone coming or going during the day. Once the sunsets, however, you do see a flicker of light, as it seems one torch, currently guiding 2 bugbears, is making its way along the cliff's edge in your direction.
Before nightfall, may I have a moment?
Oh, yeah, sorry.
I'm sorry. So Zari kind of is silent for most of the time. She's opens a book and reads it for a little while because you're watching. She doesn't have to watch. But then she'll kind of close it, look over at him, and just say, "Do you think I'm a joke?"
There's the pop of a wineskin as Samek starts drinking. What do you mean?
Everyone seems to think that because I am of noble descent that I don't know what I'm doing, or I will say the wrong thing, or, just seem to be making fun of me constantly. And I just want to make sure it's, out of fun and not out of cruelty.
I think for the most part it's out of fun. At least I don't think I'm the kind of guy to make cruel jokes like that.
Well, I believe we all have reasons for going and doing what we're doing, but it just kind of hurts sometimes when, especially my brother, doesn't believe in me.
You're a joke and this is bullshit.
Samek just shrugs. You should probably show him that you can handle yourself then.
I feel like I have proven myself to this point. I mean, I got us the meeting. I negotiated a bargain. I don't want to be the leader, but I want people to at least respect my opinion.
Quirks his head, hands her the wineskin.
Oh, no, I couldn't. Thank you.
Shrugs. We all have our specialties in this group. You're more of the charismatic type, so I guess we'll defer to you if anything of that sort comes up.
Wonderful. Well, at least I know that I have someone on my side.
Yeah. The coin's good enough.
Noted. In Zari's head. That's it.
Perfect. On the other side of the street, any
I'm
did-
drawing.
Yeah. And I think Simon would, be glancing at the window and glancing at the sketching, and for someone who is here as an art expert, you seemed awfully quick to be like, hey, I've killed people before. I would not expect that to happen in your line of work.
What, the art business?
I mean, I know that people would pay outrageous sums of money for art, and while I appreciate it myself, I certainly would not go as far as killing anyone to acquire a piece of art.
People will do a lot of things for things that are worth a lot of money. And people have killed for less than a painting.
That is certainly true, but I guess it is just another world. And sure, there are the gods who deal with art. That is not so much my domain. It just seems odd to me that, as you say, people have killed for less, but to go to such lengths when, just make art public. I mean, that is why we have galleries and museums and patrons of the art. But again, that's not my world. You have clearly more insight into all those goings-ons.
Oh, I agree. I'd love it if most art was accessible to everyone, but people with money like to keep it. And so those of us that don't always have any have to do a lot to get some. Also, I like shiny things.
So, this may be a bit presumptive, but who is paying you to do away with the Heart of Death once we have acquired it? I assume you have at least thought of it. I have to say, even myself, I have considered, details of this, how much it would be worth. The thought crossed my mind, but, I mean, I will say that is not my end goal.
No one's paying me.
This is more of a self-starter.
My line of work is complicated.
Quick aside, Sean, there's some lord, it's Xander and Zari's parents, or no, Zari's future father-in-law who is funding the expedition and presumably will be the recipient of the Heart of Death once we get it.
yes.
Okay. Well, if you go that route, you may have to contend with the siblings.
I'm well aware. I don't think it'll come to that.
I certainly hope not. So far, I tend to like most of you, and I would hate to have to pick a side.
Most of us. Got to know who you don't like.
It is, everyone has their days. Well, I certainly, there are many reasons why one does not drink. There are... These may be a bit of a personal bias, but I do have my suspicions on why there are those who do not partake. But again, many reasons why. Personal, spiritual, physical. I do not know. It is just I feel more camaraderie with those who, even if not directly paying homage to Karin Kalin, who share some of those values, participate in those activities.
Well, it's easy to get along with people who share your hobbies, beliefs, what have you. I wouldn't write them off so quickly, though.
Yes,
I think
and
Zari has particular tastes.
in those of us who follow Caden, certainly having high quality would be good, but we take what we can and we do not waste it.
Now that I can get on board with.
I think Simon will pull out one of his flasks and offer it.
I'll drink a little bit of it. You'd tell me if you were going to poison me, right?
Yes, I like to think
Fortitude save.
Well, at the very least, what reason would there be for me to poison you at this point in time?
I don't know, the people who have tried to poison me before have had interesting motivations.
Simon will take the flask and take a drink from it, and are just art people in general weirder than non-art people?
Are you calling me weird?
You are in the art world. I mean, we all have our traits, but again, just that you are so quick to question, is there poison? How many times have you been victim of attempted poisons?
You know, I lost count.
That is sad.
Or is it exciting? No, it's kind of sad. Like I said, people will do a lot of things for a lot of money. I have a lot of things worth a lot of money.
I think it's at this point that you see the flicker of torchlight in the distance, and you watch as the two bugbears emerge from the darkness, following the cliff path to the edge, where probably about 20 feet or so away from the buildings that you're currently hiding within. The one with the torch continues to stand there at the end of the path, while the other passes between your two buildings and heads into the town.
Did we
So
ever...
one's by themselves?
Mm-hmm.
Should we follow them?
Hmm.
I think out of sight of the dude with the torch.
They will be momentarily.
We should probably wait for the others to move. They're a lot stealthier than I am.
But won't they wait for someone to move first? I don't
I
want to be
think
stuck here.
at this point, Simon will just like peek his head up above the windowsill, see one of you peeking out the window, and will start doing message to facilitate
Yeah.
conversation. Just be like,
Move in.
I'm standing
Okay.
behind Simon. Do they want me to follow him?
Yes.
yes, I think follow him. I will come with you. The rest of you stay here just in case. Perhaps.
Please someone inform me that you were going to follow, because all Xander's thinking was jump off the roof and tackle.
Probably should tell Xander. Please tell Xander.
You see him like line up, he's like, I got this.
Brother dearest,
Stop, speed run.
we're
All you
going
hear
to
is footsteps on the roof. Stop, suddenly.
have Anais follow them. You'll stand down, soldier.
I'm imagining the Assassin's Creed like reticle that's like it's stealth assassinate. Like the X button appears above their head as they go past. You're just like standing there waiting.
This would be so cool. It would look epic. Okay. Apparently shoot the other dude.
You can keep your bow trained on them, but I think we would like to subdue before going for the kill.
I meant to do with the torch.
If you
Simon,
notices something.
should I go with her so that we have someone who can message?
That could be good, yes.
Anais, I'm coming with you.
All right. Don't crowd me.
Goodbye.
Okay, so Annie's, Zari, Simon, are you also going, or?
No, I think I will stay back here and just be like the relay, walkie-talkie relay.
Okay. I need stealth checks from the two that are going to be pursuing. I also need stealth checks from Xander a stealth check from Xander on the roof. Wow.
That's with a
29.
+8.
Like I said, don't crowd me.
8.
Don't worry, we are the other side of the road.
Yeah, so I think this is what happens. And as you slip out of the door that you have pried open in order to get here previously, and you begin to quietly follow the one bugbear who is not carrying the torch into the darkness down the city streets. And then behind you, you hear a cracking noise as I think Zari, as you were attempting to slip out, probably we'll say on your side, you guys went in through a no, you did go through the door because that's how we narrated. I think you go out the door and the rusted hinge on the door breaks as you're heading out, and there's just this loud creaking and this crack noise, and the bugbear with the torch immediately like holds it out and begins to head over in your direction, and begins to bark out in does anyone here speak Goblin? No. Okay, begins to bark out in a language none of you understand. The bugbear that was heading down the street also hears this and wheels around. Does not see you, Anais. I think you kind of tuck into the shadow. You're still hidden, but he has stopped wherever he is going, and the two of them are kind of heading back in the direction where they heard this noise.
I look over to Simon, show him like the hilt of my bastard sword and point to it.
Yes, let's go after Torchbearer first. He is closer to base.
Cool.
Do we rolling initiative or do we get surprise rounds?
I don't think there's a surprise round here because they know you're here.
They heard a sound. They don't know we're here.
They're alerted to the presence of something nearby.
Okay.
Yeah, they're not.
So I'm
off guard right
assuming.
now.
Okay.
So they are, I think, as the light of the torch illuminates the front of the building that Zari, you're standing at, the bugbears have seen you, are aware of your presence at least. And yeah, unless there's any immediate you have a split second if anybody's going diplomatic approach here. If not, we're going to go ahead and roll initiative.
I mean, we're gonna try. Oh, hello. Sorry, I'm not from this town. Is this an inn? Should I try to deceive them?
I'm gonna play this scene out just a little bit more before we do. I just want to see how this goes. The bugbear goes. The one with the torch goes silent for a second. Hold and kind of gets right up on you and holds it kind of near your face to get a good look at you, and this time speaks out in a deep voice in common and says, "You should not be here."
Oh, I'm sorry. Is this a restricted area of town?
No one should be here. Why are you here?
As I said, I was looking for an inn.
No inn.
No inn. Only out?
The other one, I think, comes up to the other side and looks at the door that is broken, and begins to head into the house that you just came out of, where Samek is currently. I think this is probably the point where we also hear the shifting on the roof from Xander, and the bugbear with the torch looks up. Doesn't see you, but has, I think you you can tell Zari has heard Xander up there. The one on the ground without the torch begins to pull out a weapon as he heads inside. Samek, are you hiding or are you just gonna stay out in the open?
He's at the door, just like looking at it, taking practice baseball swings, waiting for it to open.
So the bugbear has walked like right up into your face there, now staring you eye to eye. He goes, seeing you with the blade drawn. And go ahead and make a deception check. Zari, I'm going to... Oof.
How's it 26?
Okay. 26. So I think this is what happens. It's hard to, you have the juxtaposition of Samek in there with the sword. I think the bugbear is the one with the torch is disarmed enough by you.
Mm-hmm.
I think goes to push you aside as they see Samek in there with a weapon drawn, and they both draw their weapons, and the one with the torch barks out and says, "Drop your sword."
Can I sneak up behind them while this is happening?
There's the clang as he drops his sword.
Looks back at Yuzari. In, huh?
Well, this is my bodyguard.
Raises a hand.
We are not from here. I was gonna pull the thing I pulled before, but I'm not gonna do that. This is my lover.
I am with child.
That's always my go-to. I'm pregnant. We wanted something a little more lower rent, we didn't want to have to pay the premiums, and usually once you're farther away from the docks. But if this isn't a place we should be, would you just point us in the correct direction, and we shall go there?
I think the bugbear looks you over, and she begins to sort of sniff, just looks the other one. Smells like money. And the other one nods, and the one with the torch points back towards the cliff and says, "You come with us."
Zari's gonna turn to Samek and give him a "this could work" face. We shall come with you. Is it an inn? Is it somewhere we could sleep?
The bugbear begins to laugh, just, "Yes, in."
Insight check?
He is obviously lying, RJ.
You don't need an insight check.
Okay.
You know it's not an in. I don't know. I
Okay.
mean, I guess that's up to you if you think Samek is going to fall for that.
Shit.
Well, please, lead the way.
Okay. The one with the torch it walks forward. The other one pushes you from behind forward and looks to Samek to also pull you along.
Just
Reaches
quickly
down
gonna-
to
Oh, he's gonna
he
grab it.
reaches down to pick up your sword off the ground.
I'm gonna let Samek play this out because
That hand goes for the sword. My boot's going on those fingers.
and I'm gonna send a message. Anytime now, brother.
You guys are inside a house.
I'm in the doorway. One of the
I'm
guys
on top
is
of the building.
You know, they're right in front of the building right now. If you
Yeah.
look over the edge, you will see them.
Oh, so I can do an amazing thing. I can. Okay, when I hit any time, I really want to use this other feat which I got, which means I don't need to actually run to jump. I just want to jump and leap as far as I can, turn and shoot them. Be amazing.
Okay, so you're gonna jump off the building.
Yeah, I'm amazing.
All right. As Xander goes leaping off the top of the building, bow drawn to shoot down towards the bugbear, we're gonna go and roll initiative.
Okay.
Please tell me I get a sneak attack on these guys.
Okay, sure. I don't think they see this coming.
Oh, it doesn't matter. I got a nat 20 on
Jeez.
initiative anyway.
Okay, let me get some music going.
It's going to be an amazing.
Are the initiatives still up from last time?
Yep.
That's fine. We can.
Hey, the reef clause
They
is
should.
in the other game.
It should overwrite though, I guess,
Yes.
once you.
No, I didn't click my token, so I have to enter it.
It's fine. I rolled the same thing I did last time.
Put the bugbears down. Tiny bugbears.
Baby bugbears.
So for the folks at home, we've got Xander with a 27, Zarya with a 24.
Oh, I
Simon
didn't know it
with a
was time to call it
17,
out.
And the East with 13, and Samak with 6. I don't know if it was time either. It was just filling the quiet.
Let's see. Not that. Oh yeah, I guess it is the perception check. That's why. 14 and
I had to do so much with my 3 actions. It's amazing.
okay. That is going to be I guess Xander going first. You can go ahead and make your
Okay.
mid-flight
Action
attacks.
1 is quick jump. Leaping. I don't know, I can leap. If your speed is at least 30 feet, which it will be because I don't need to take my move, I can leap up to 15 feet horizontally. So,
Jeez. Okay. Do I
do I make it to the other roof?
No, you don't make it to the other roof with a 15-foot jump. You'll make it to the ground.
Okay. As I go to jump, I tell Crow to attack. So my other action is telling Crow to attack, and then I will do my hunted shot, which is my 2 shots against the thing. And because of Hunter's Edge Flurry, it's only a negative. Oh, no,
Just make the attack. I'll assume you're doing the math right. Just do the math. Just do the attacks. You guys don't need to like. I assume that you guys are doing it right.
Oh no, that doesn't do anything again. Oh, I don't reduce my penalty, so it's still a -5 on my second attack because I haven't made a hunted prey. So first attack 16.
Against the one with the torch or against the one without the torch?
Which one looks like it's threatening my system more?
Probably the one with the torch is bigger. Probably a little more threatening, generally.
Is that the one that's not reaching for the sword?
They're both reaching for their. No, the one that's not. The one that's reaching for Samek's sword is the one without the torch.
Well, let's just take him out because that's how he can get his weapon easier.
Okay. Go to make you. You rolled a 16. You said.
Yeah.
That
And the
misses.
other one. Whoa. The other one's a 17 because I've got to take 5 off of that.
17 hits.
I still hit him once. So it will take 8 piercing because I rolled a full 8.
Okay.
Does that mean it's
yeah.
critical damage? Or is that just if I
No.
crit, it's +2?
If you crit, you would have rolled.
All right.
Your damage on the bottom is your total damage for a crit. Your damage on the top is your damage for a regular attack. So you rolled max damage on the first one and minimal damage on the second one.
Oh, thank God I didn't crit. That would suck.
So 8 points of damage with the longbow as you fire 2 arrows at the same time, one going wide, the other one sinking into the back of this bugbear. As you then fall.
We're doing an athletics check to see how amazing, because it makes it so I could potentially.
Oh, do you have a thing for that?
Isn't that just normal leaping?
No. The leaping action is you just leap. You can jump greater distances with an athletic skill if you want to. If you have the.
So I just leap. Oh.
Yeah, you just leap and then you fall. I'll say this: you can make an acrobatics check to try to land gracefully.
16.
Okay. You make it look cool. You're still gonna take a little bit of damage from the fall, but at least you don't land on your ass. You do take 5 points bludgeoning damage from the fall.
5 points bludgeoning, and I will have Crow bite the dude with the torch to try and distract him.
Okay, make your attack.
14.
Misses.
But it's still up in his face.
All right. Okay. So that'll be Sareen's turn.
Yes, I do the thing that I posted on accident.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, Zari's gonna bite her lip and run her thumb across the blood and just kind of touch the guy's forehead, and she's gonna cast harm.
Okay.
So he needs to make a fortitude saving throw, please.
Okay. Which I'll clarify. The bigger one is a she.
Sorry.
Nope, all good.
The one in front of me.
Fortitude save?
Yes, and I'm going to use my blood magic.
It's only a 14.
Okay, so they take full damage, which is 4. But
Okay.
I'm going to, like I said, use my blood magic to expend a focus point, which makes it another D8. So it's
Awesome.
R exclamation mark or exclamation mark R? How do I roll a D8?
Oh, /R space D8.
1D8. 3 more damage.
3 more damage. Perfect. Any other effects except for the damage?
Yeah, I get a forward, I think. Let me see. You gain blood magic effect. Let's see. It weakens the target's defense. Actually, I can just post this for you. That's better. It weakens the target's defenses or makes you more imposing. Either the target takes a -1 status, or I take +1 AC. I think I'm gonna take a +1 AC on this one.
Okay. That sounds like a good idea. So as your brother goes flying off the roof, fires his arrows, and then lands with a thud, kind of rolling, and then coming to a stop on its knees, you take that opportunity of the bugbear in front of you being surprised, reach out and touch her furry forehead, and send this course of harmful energy through her, and she lets out a roar. She pulls back from you, not expecting this because of your
demeanor.
Wonderful check before. Yes, your pleasant demeanor, and immediately seems threatened by you now.
Good. Wait,
You
no.
can just see a look of horror in Xander's eyes because he's never seen her do blood magic.
I mean, we can flavor it like he was behind her when it happened, so he hasn't seen it.
Yeah. Also, Xandar's probably pretty focused on the ground right now. Yeah, we can deal with that later. Simon, In the other building, it's your turn now.
Yes. So from across the street, having just witnessed this blood magic, but it's like, okay, that is issue for later. I'm going to cast Forbidding Ward on Zari and the female bugbear. So what that does is you get +1 to armor class and saving throws against their attacks, spells, etc.
Okay.
So yeah.
So she has a +1 to her AC against it,
yeah,
or
against
I do it
just that creature.
Okay.
Because this picks 1 ally, 1 enemy, but so that is
Perfect.
2 of my actions, and then I guess for my third action, I am going to deciding between hiding and taking out my sling. Well, I guess it wouldn't be hiding; it would be taking cover. No, I will use my action to ready my sling, so I can maybe do something with it if needed.
Okay. Perfect. That will be the bugbear tormentor's turn. Oh, the torch is going. Well, it's angry now. She is going to draw her. What's she have? Oh, she draws her dagger. And is going to make an attack against you. Sorry. Let's see. Actually, here's what she's going to do. She's going to use 2 actions to do a twin feint. And using her weapons, is going to make a dazzling series of attacks with 2 weapons. So it's going to make her first dagger attack against you. So dagger in one hand, sickle in the other. Well, that's a natural 1 on the first attack. So I think that's definitely going to miss. The second, so she won't get the bonus on her second one with her sickle, which is still very bad. It's a 14.
My AC's 13, so
Yeah.
With the +1 from
With-
the thing I. Oh,
yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Wait, is
And
that
my
so?
+1.
It's 13 total with the 2 of
Yes.
those. Oh, gee, your AC is so
Nope.
bad. Well, with a natural 1, it was a 12. So that's
Oh, shit.
still it was almost.
Mighty boy.
Yeah. That's going to hit them. It's going to be 10 points of slashing damage.
Oh, good. I was like, I don't even know what my max HP is.
Oh yeah. Okay. So you would have been. I'm learning new things about this. So she doesn't have to hit with the first one. You were still flat-footed against the second one. It hit
Cool.
either way.
Yeah. I'm wearing
so-
heels though, so.
So you're immune to flat-footed. Damn. Okay. I think that's all she's got with those. With those attacks. Oh no. Tormentor deals extra 1d6 extra precision damage to flat-footed creatures. I've got to roll an additional d6. Another 4 points of damage. And that's the end of her turn. Anise.
I would like to sneak up on the one that is trying to kill Zari.
Yes.
Please and thank you.
You are completely hidden and in darkness, and if you approach in the right direction, you will be flanking.
Going
So.
to flank. I'm going to
Definitely flat-footed either way.
pull out my sword and stab.
Okay. You come running up from the darkness, emerging into the torchlight. At the last seconds, you see Annie's coming up from behind the bugbear and striking out with her daggers. Go ahead and make
It's a
your
short sword.
or your short sword. Sorry.
Thank you.
Go ahead and make your attacks.
That is only a 13. Why does this game hate me?
She is. You do get a the flat-footed bonus, but I don't think that is enough to hit. So I think that's still only a -2 to her checks. Yeah. So that still puts her AC at a 15. So you still
Okay.
miss.
Well, that sucks. And if I attack again, I get a minus something. I don't know how this works.
Yes, if you attack again, you have your multi-attack bonus penalty, which I think is another
Negative 5.
negative.
5?
Negative.
5. Unless it's an agile weapon.
I think it is an agile or a short sword.
Yeah,
the
it's an
tags on your
agile
weapon.
weapon. Agile finesse.
Yeah,
Well,
so I think it's
agile finesse. It is
-4.
No praise, no 3. Yeah, -4.
Great. Well, I have nothing better to be doing, so I'm gonna try again.
okay.
And probably roll just as bad. Yeah, that's a natural 1.
Oof.
I'm gonna stop rolling on roll 20.
Yeah, so that's a critical fail. Yeah, you definitely miss on the second one. I think you leap out of the darkness with your short sword, and you go for 2 quick stabs. The first one deflects off of the bugbear's armor. It then wheels around on you, and as you're going to strike with your second weapon, she just sort of slaps your hand out of the way, and you do not make purchase.
But I'm there.
You are there.
Hoping.
That'll put it to the other bugbear's turn, who's in melee with Samek, so I think it's just going to go for Samek. You put your boot onto your sword, and so this bugbear pulls back and just draws their own bastard sword to strike at you. That'll be yeah. Well, that's a 29.
No, sorry.
What's your AC?
20.
20. Okay, so it's not a crit. So that'll be 8 points of piercing damage.
Okay.
And then with their second strike, with the penalty, it's a 24 because I
Still
rolled another
hits.
29. It's 11 points of piercing damage.
Ooh. Yikes, yikes, yikes.
And that's going to be it for them. Samek, it's your turn.
Would it be an action to pick up my sword? Or you just give it to me?
It would be your draw stow, whatever it is.
Okay.
So yes, I guess in action.
Cool. So first action, pick up sword. Second action, rage. Third action, hit this motherfucker with my bastard sword.
Do it. Your hands once again ignite as you.
Just for flair, he stomps down on the hilt of the sword and it flips it upward, and he just claws at the blade and it ignites, and he grabs the handle.
Yeah, perfect.
Does an 18 hit?
18 will hit.
Cool. For 8 points of damage.
8 points of damage. Okay. Ow. Yeah, you slash at the bugbear as it gets now locked in combat to bastard swords. Kind of as you slash the second time, pulls up its own sword to push you away, and you are now locked into melee with this creature. Perfect. Anything else for your turn, or is that it?
That's all 3 actions.
Okay. Xander, we are back to you.
So I've currently got Samek with a sword on fire dealing with one dude. The big bugbear has just jabbed my system multiple times and then deflected, and I used his attack. If I have quick draw, does that mean I can drop my weapon for free? If I can draw an attack with the same motion.
Uh,
Like, this is the wording of it. You draw a weapon with the same motion, you draw and attack.
okay. And your
Is
question
dropping
is
a
whether
weapon
you...
a free? I need a free hand.
Yeah, I'll give it. If you were just dropping the weapon onto the ground, not trying to stow it or in any way,
Just dropping it on the ground.
then yes, that I won't count that as an action.
Okay, this is going to... And moving's an action, right?
Yes, it is.
Okay, this is going to be really, really stupid, but I think we all agree Xander's not the smartest person in the game.
We all
I'm
would
going
agree
to
that,
tell
yes.
Crow to attack the dude. So Crow's going to attack first, because,
Okay. Against the big one this time?
yeah, he's still against the big one.
Okay.
15.
Misses.
Shit, Crow. And I'm going to run and let's...
It is, I will say, it is flanked right now because it's got a bunch of people around it. But even with a 17, that still misses. But
Okay.
I'm trying to keep flat-footed in mind for flanking in this game, because it helps a lot of you.
And then I'm going to use the... How large is this thing? Just considered a large creature? It's not massive.
No, it's medium.
Medium. Okay.
It's a big medium.
Well, I'm just going to try and tackle it and use the trip action. I'm just going
Okay.
to run at it and scream like I'm a crazy, scary person. I'm like, this is what Samick would do. Must be what
Okay.
commoners do. I'm going to try and tackle this thing to get it away from it.
How does the trip action work?
I roll an athletics check against the target's reflex DC. On a success, it falls and lands prone. On a critical success, it falls and lands prone and takes 1d6 bludgeoning. And on a critical failure, I fall prone. So,
Okay,
We're gonna-
go ahead and roll then. Somebody remind me. DC's in this game calculated from 10 or from 8? Is it 8 plus the from 10? Okay. What's the what'd you roll?
I rolled 22.
DC was a 20.
Its reflex save was a 20?
Yep.
Well,
The
that's
DC
just a
would
normal
be-
success. So I just barge into this person and knock them on their ass
Yep.
and tell them, don't hit my sister.
Okay. So you rush forward and bull rush into this bugbear, sending them toppling onto the ground, and have made your statement, made your presence known. Your bow is now back on the
Okay,
ground behind you.
I still have a rapier on me.
Okay. All right. Perfect. You have its attention.
I'm the threat around here.
Zareen,
I'm
what
a
you got?
joke.
Pulling out my full name on me. Ah.
It's because it's in the turn order,
know.
and that's just where I want it. But
I know.
yes, Zareen
Ah.
Valander, you are called to the principal's office. What is your turn?
No. That's a good question. I wasn't expecting my brother to do that. Is the creature behind me? Do I have like line of sight on him?
The one without the torch, or the one that he just knocked down?
The male that is in the room.
Yeah, you have line of sight. I think he's right on the doorway with Samek right now. I think they're kind of battling on the threshold, so you can see him.
Yeah, okay. My question is, if I am going to like perhaps splash something onto him, is it going to hit Samek as well?
What's the effect of that? What are you trying to do?
It's a spell called Acid Splash.
Oh, does it have a radius, or is it?
It has an area, but I think that's as far.
I'll say nobody else is currently engaged with that creature, so you
yeah.
could.
It's a
You could-
cantrip, so I don't think it's that powerful.
Yeah, you could. Yeah, you don't have to worry about Samek. I think he's good.
Okie dokie. So I need to make a spell attack.
All right.
Which spell attack if I click this, maybe it'll do it. Nope. So it's just a D20.
Yeah.
That's a 12. Does a 12 hit?
12 does not hit.
Boo. Okay. Then I will use my other action since I am no longer engaged to move away from this particular situation. And I will I don't know, give my brother guidance.
Now is not the time for a pep talk, sister.
Maybe I'll give myself guidance.
Okay.
Quit telling me what to do.
I'm giving myself guidance.
All right, and you move away from the from the combat. Okay.
Girl.
Great. Simon, it is your turn.
Yep. I think I'm gonna go ahead and drop Forbidding Ward, so that's no longer up for all the good it did. Because I think you still needed a natural one from them to not get hit, so...
Pretty much.
Instead, I am going to first hit the prone one with... I'm just double checking my 2 spells here. Okay, why doesn't this spell say how much damage it does? Oh, equal to... Okay, because it doesn't roll, that's why. Okay, so I'm going to hit them with Chill Touch.
Okay.
So...
they are flat-footed, ironically, because they're prone.
So... Boop, boop. So I guess they make a Fortitude save.
Fortitude save? All right. That is a 23.
Or actually, no, sorry. That's a touch range spell, so I don't do that. Instead, I will hit them with the Hangover spell, Daze.
Okay.
So they make a Will DC. Or Will save.
Will save. I'll just re-roll it because I don't do math. That's a 12.
So that fails, so they take the full damage, but they're not stunned, so they take 4 mental damage.
All right.
Yes, and then for my last action, I will try and hit them with my sling.
Okay.
Well, that's a 23 to hit, but with my strength mod, that works out to be just a 1. Because there's the rule where if you get a 0 or a negative, you do 1 damage.
1. Yeah, so with 23 to hit, even with the... yeah, you hit either way. I was going to say you get an additional +2, but... all right, and 1 point of damage as the rock from the sling just... boop, cracks off of the bugbear's head as she's sitting up, and just a small kind of welt forms, but she seems otherwise unperturbed by it, just angrily looking at Xander, which...
That is my turn.
It is their turn now. The Tormentor is going to use their action to stand. And then they are going to use 2 actions to do a twin feint against you, Xander.
Bring it.
Because they hate you.
I'm not as squishy as my sister, AC wise.
That's a 20 to hit.
Yes, I have an AC at 19.
So that'll be 9 points of piercing. And then for their second attack, which is the one you are considered flat-footed for, that would be 25 minus 5, so let's do 22.
Yep, that hits.
That is, oh man, I'm glad I didn't roll a crit there, because that crit damage down there is just 20 points of damage. But
I'm glad you didn't roll a crit either.
with the additional 1d6, that is 10 points of slashing damage.
Guys, I am on full HP right now.
That will end the bugbear's turn. Anais, it is your turn now.
Wow, I'm gonna try to stab the one that just stabbed Xander, huh?
Do it. Once again, Xander, you want to... If I'd say with the current positioning, that if you move, you can get within. You're not currently flanking it, but if you move, you can get within.
Okay.
You can flank it.
So I'll move behind it and then try to stab it.
Okay.
For flavor, can I try and hold the attack which stabbed me in?
Sure.
So
Yeah, we'll say that
dramatic.
contributes to the flank. Yeah, as it stabs and as the sickle is now kind of locked around you, you grab onto it. So you get your additional +2 bonus for the flat-footed, but either way, that will hit.
Yes, that would be. What did I roll? God, so I roll a 22. So yeah.
Okay.
Where's my damage? That's 10 total.
10 points of damage. Hey, it's not nothing.
Ah.
You got a second attack too,
Yeah.
if you want to take, or you have another action, I should say.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to attack again with a -4. That's a 21.
And they're still flat-footed.
That's a 23.
That'll hit.
I immediately forget rules after people tell
That's
them to
okay.
me. I rolled the same fucking thing.
Do you get the
10.
sneak attack every time
I
they're
don't know.
flat-footed?
That's why I was looking.
I was just curious.
My sheet. I don't actually know. It just says if you strike a creature that has a flat-footed condition.
Awesome.
Yeah, it doesn't say there's a limit, and I copied it from the book to put on my sheet. So.
Yeah, so 10 points of damage.
Okay, so 10 more.
Well, you fucked up this bugbear real bad with 20 points of damage. Still, that's nothing. You sink your short sword in twice, or 2 short swords.
Yeah, I've got
don't
2
know
now.
if you do it or not. As you sink both short swords into the back of this bugbear through its meaty haunches, they
right in the butt.
had a roar of pain. Their back haunches, their upper back haunches.
Yeah, that's a butt.
And she lets out a roar of pain and wheels around on you.
Good.
But that is it for your turn.
Is a free action to go, hey, ugly.
Sure.
Quit picking on me.
The other bugbear now with Samek is going to make their attacks. Actually, I'm going to try this first. Going to use their action, or one of their actions, to try to... They're going to drop their bastard sword. And they are going to grab you, or attempt to grapple you.
Okay.
So he's going to make an athletics check.
Is that contested, I believe?
I believe so. We'll do it contested. It's either contested or DC, but I don't really care enough to look. So yeah, we'll do a roll off.
Okay.
Well, they rolled bad.
I got a 10.
They got a 10 too.
We're dancing now.
Yeah. I think Ty goes to the runner though. So I think he will grapple you with the 10 because we're setting that as the DC. So that would be a success on his part. So he does grab onto you, kind of wrap one arm around you, and then it's going to just punch you a bunch. So he gets a +3 circumstance bonus to damage rolls against something that he is grappling. But he's going to try to punch you. Why did that just roll damage? I should have rolled an attack. Hold on. That's a 19 to hit.
Does not.
Okay. Actually, I need to check. Does grapple give you something?
I believe you become restrained.
Should
So that
look
means
at
I'm
this first.
flat-footed. So that should.
That'd be yeah. Well, on a success, your opponent is grappled into. No, restrained is only on a critical success.
Oh, okay, cool.
They are grabbed,
Ah,
which giving them the flat-footed and immobilized conditions.
Mhm.
So yeah, you're grabbed right now. So yeah, 21 would
Does
be
hit.
the. So that will be 9 points of bludgeoning damage, non-lethal bludgeoning damage.
Now I've got to mix that in.
Make a second attack against you, which will be a -4, a 20 plus 2, 25 to hit. For 10 points of bludgeoning damage, non-lethal.
Down.
You're down.
I'm down, but
All right.
because of my orcish ferocity, I stay at 1.
Nice. So yeah, I think grabs onto you and just poof, poof, punches you twice in the side of the head, and with the crack, you see like your world starts to spin as this bugbear has their arms wrapped around you, but you just feel just the heat of your the anger of your lineage kind of bubbling up from inside of you, and you shake your head and you maintain your footing in that moment. And that will actually be your turn.
Here we go. I'm gonna hit him with my bastard sword.
Do it.
17
That'll hit.
for 18 points of damage.
Jeez. That's all the hit points he had left. So,
Just for flavor, he had uppercutted Samek twice in the gut, and Samek's eyes like roll back, and everyone can see that. His head snaps forward, and his entire body becomes immolated in fire, and then just one big cleave.
yeah. And with a spray of blood that just that splatters across the ground. I think it probably coats you, immediately seared off by the flames. Just a spatter of blood cutting out to the street, and along the front of this house, this bugbear releases its grasp on you and goes toppling backwards onto the road.
I still have 2 actions.
Yeah.
Samek's head snaps to the bugbear in the doorway, and I'm going to use my sudden charge action, which is dash twice, attack once. So
Okay.
it's gonna be at -5 plus whatever ongoing conditions it has.
I think if you position yourself, you can get a flanking on it. So especially if you're dashing twice, so you could get flat-footed.
25 for 17. -5, 20, 22.
Yeah, 22 hits. Well, it had 12 hit points left. Do you have any flavor for this one too?
It's the cleave through the person, and then Samek's already in their body, like dashing through it. Zigzags around Zari, zigzags around Anais and Xander, jumps up in the air, and then like Dark Souls like plunge attack down through the mouth.
Yes.
And then Witcher pushes it sideways.
Love it. I think you get the anime kind of gout of blood spraying up into the air as you retch the sword to the sky, and you essentially unsheathe your sword from the bugbear's body as it collapses into a bloody heap in front of you, and you stand there in that blood and gore, swaying from the near death experience you have just had. But both of the bugbears are dead.
I'm gonna put my hand up to fist bump Sammy. Be like, come on.
Samek like does this cocky like smirk, fist bumps him, and then just falls to the side.
And with a heavy
Right.
with a heavy thud as Samek falls to the ground, and the winds billowing up from the fogs below, we're going to go ahead and take our break. So, thanks for hanging out with us, everyone. We will be back shortly to wrap up our session for tonight. So, hang out, and we will be back soon. Hey, welcome back, Internet. Thank you for hanging out with us on our break. We have just wrapped up the first part of our session. We're here playing Pathfinder 2nd Edition here today. And you guys just won your second fight. So kudos. So we'll jump back in. I'm actually going to put on some more, let's put on some more dramatic mood-setting music. I won't do the one with the scary noise.
There's no scary noises.
But it's the best.
You have 2 dead bugbears and a couple of nearly dead adventurers. But as the adrenaline from the fight begins to wear off and you realize what's happened and kind of take stock of the situation, what do you guys do?
Zari is gonna walk over to Samek, who is dying on the ground. Yes.
Yeah.
He has gone unconscious.
Mhm.
Okay. She's going to take out her dagger and then take his hand and her hand and put the blade between them and slice it. And she's gonna cast Stabilize on him.
Okay.
And I will be getting my bow I dropped while that happens, so I don't see it happening.
Yeah.
I'm gonna check on Xander and probably be calling Simon over because Xander
Yeah,
did just like take a knife for me.
Yeah, Simon was on his way to go stabilize Samek and sees this and think he will get over and be like, note that this is extremely unsanitary and you could have even done it at range, but we will talk about that later. And begin tending.
All right. I don't know what healing you guys have at your disposal.
So I need to do a bunch of medicine checks. So I can either, normally the treat wounds is 10 minutes, but because I have the battle medic field, battle medicine, I can do it just as an action. So it is, normally it's a DC 15. I'm not yet an expert, so I can't up it. But so
Okay.
on a critical success, 48 hit points. On a regular success, 2d8. On a critical failure, they take more damage. But so I think I will do a quick round of my one action healing everyone, and then if there needs to be more, I can do some magic.
Okay. You're not in combat right now. If you guys duck into one of the buildings, you have some space to take some time to heal. So we'll have the DC, stick the DC at 15.
Can I help? Since I'm not hurt.
Can we drag in the dead body that's in the street?
Oh, true.
I'll drag it in while you start healing Sammy, because he looks worse for wear. And I'm also going to pilfer the pockets that have any while I'm dragging it in.
Yeah, we
I
can't really
will
drag him.
Yeah. You help how you can, pulling people in and getting things off the road the best you can. As far as actually helping with the medicine, I'll say if somebody is anybody else.
I'm proficient.
Are you proficient in medicine?
Yeah.
Is that a thing?
I just don't have a healer's kit, so I can't do any of this.
I'll say you can give like a +2 bonus to the roll.
You're like, Sammy, do you like lightning bolts? Because I'm going to stitch a lightning bolt where you got stabbed.
You will do no such thing. Besides, flames would be more thematically appropriate.
Xander, stitch.
Yeah, I
so
don't. Okay, Xander.
Okay, so
Xander's food
Who's
cat.
his first one for?
This will be for Samek.
Okay.
So that's 24, so not quite a critical success, unfortunately.
Very close.
If there was
but
guidance, there would have been.
But you didn't do guidance, you did help.
I don't have guidance. Oh, that's
Yeah.
right.
We know.
So you will get 15 hit points back. That was almost
That's
max healing.
Pretty good for 2d8.
Okay, and then I will turn to Xander and he's like, okay, now you stop fussing.
Oh, is this my blood? Play it all cool when I know I'm almost dead.
Am I getting help for this one again, or because he's
I
now
don't know if I
patient,
can
I don't
help
think
you.
he can help.
Does somebody else have training in medicine? No.
Nope.
Then I will say no. It's just
I
straight.
can lie about having training in medicine.
Well, that's still a 21, so another
good.
success. Ooh, only 9 points of healing though, for you.
That's cool. All I'm thinking of is they're going, but the bleeding's internal. That's where it's meant to be, like from Brooklyn Nine.
All right, and then you, Zari. Let me take a look. You're muted.
As he's healing the others, Zari is taking stock of these creatures and getting some blood from them
Okay.
as sneakily as she can.
Harvesting.
Make a. What did we do last time? Was it? Do we do thievery or do we do stealth?
It's the same. So.
Oh, it's the same. Yeah. So, dealer's choice.
Ooh, that's a 20. I have a
20.
+1. That's not bad.
I will give that to you that you were able to subtly procure some blood from these bears.
And turn around. Oh, yes, thank you. I appreciate that.
All right, hold still. This may sting a little bit, but not as much as getting actually stabbed. That's another 21.
Nice. 3 for 3.
You get 13 hit points.
Nice.
Okay.
Thanks, sir.
Is that almost
Now
bringing
we
up
know
the
who
full-
it is that
Yeah,
Simon doesn't
it
like.
does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one person's like, I like most of the group. Who doesn't like, yeah.
So I think after doing that, Simon's gonna look over the 3 patients and be like, "You are still rather wounded. Give me just a moment." And you will see Simon will take out his little holy symbol, which I forget if I've described it before, but I think it's just like a simple, relatively simple wooden thing, but it's actually just like 2 beer mugs clinking. But takes that, starts muttering a little prayer, and will cast heal, and doing it as a 3-action thing. So it's a 30-foot emanation. Now, let's see, I'll go ahead and click the thing, but it has a thing where if it's a 1-action, it's just touch. 2-action, it's a range of 30 feet and increases the hit points restored by 8. You think with the 3-action where it's 30 foot all around, it would also do the +8?
I'm assuming so.
Okay, yeah, just it doesn't specifically say that it also does that.
It's like it also is an emanation thing on
Yeah.
the 3-action.
Why is that? Or because it does damage to undead creatures.
Okay.
But so, because I have the healing hands thingy, yeah, when I cast heal, I roll d10s instead of d8s. So I will roll a d10, and then you will get +8 as well from the thing. So 1d10. Yes, not. Just making sure I didn't do 1d0. So you each get 14 hit points on
Nice.
top of what I've already done.
Dang.
Very nice.
What does this spellcasting look like?
Yeah, that's a good question.
I think there's a brief little glow from the medallion. I think you get almost like the hubbub of a tavern, and I think each of you gets the taste of your favorite kind of alcohol for just a second.
Need to come up with an alternate effect where you can heal additional damage where everybody's drunk for the next hour.
Oh, Sauvignon Blanc. Thank you.
But these
What is
and-
a really girly drink? Because that would be Xander's one. It's got to be something that would be
A white
bright with an
Zinfandel?
umbrella.
Oh.
Like, we're going.
Long Island iced
Sex on the
tea.
beach, yeah.
Something a guy would never be like, I want to order.
Hey, I just order what tastes good, man.
Yeah, right.
Except
and
you
does
would
that
My
go
tie.
like, hey, can I please get a
My
cock sucking cowboy? Be like, especially in a saloon, like stuff.
I have a question about the healing. Is that to everyone, or is it a
Yeah,
limited
to-
number of creatures?
So,
'Cause
because I did
you
it
could
at
al-
that level.
Because I guess Zara, you could go up to
Okay.
It's just one additional hit point.
Yeah, so it does it to, at that level, disperse positive energy in a 30-foot emanation, targets all living and undead creatures in the burst.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's not relevant now, but in the earlier thing it says, if the target is a willing living creature, you restore hit points. I was gonna say, because I was considering doing that in combat still at the 3rd level. Do you think that would have still healed the bugbears too, or?
They would be willing to be healed, I think.
Be like, how much do I spite you? And be like, I don't need your help.
Because it only damages undead creatures.
Correct.
Okay. Then yeah, I mean, I would say it would heal any creature in the burst that was living and willing.
Mm-hmm.
So that's interesting. So the healing takes all of you. I think pretty much everyone's either almost or is up to full health.
I feel great.
What are we chatting about?
Oh, I'm just sitting and talking to Xander. I think Anais is just watching, probably pretending to be unconcerned, but just like making sure that he's not gonna die. Because he got stabbed a lot, sort of right in front of her. And then I think if she has a moment to say, like, just to him, like, when did you become such a rush into danger white knight
Always.
type? Please.
I don't know how to talk to people. It's easier fighting.
Well, I know you ran in to save your sister, but you may as well have taken a knife for me, so thank you.
Well, I did. You're a sickle, technically.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Look at Crow, like, just interrupt Crow, like, just. Xana knows animals, okay?
Try not to die.
It's on my bucket list. It's probably the last thing I'm gonna do on it.
Can I search the bodies while I'm down there? Sorry.
I was just gonna say, I think she actually laughs at that.
Yeah, you could search the body. Oh, sorry. You can search the bodies.
Sorry, am I boring
they
you?
each, yes, horribly. Go find
Wow.
something.
Yeah, let's do it.
They are each. Let's see. Actually, I think they have different stuff. So the big one, the one that seemed to be the leader. Actually, I'll start with the other one. The one with the bastard sword that Samek killed first has the bastard sword that he was using. That I assume you retrieved off the ground of the building that you were fighting him in, which is in pretty good condition. It's not great. It's not any better than the sword that you already have. He also had 3 javelins and some kind of dirty leather armor. The other one was wearing a chain shirt. Also had a dagger and 2 sickles. And they also have tucked in to like the back of their breeches. You find a long gray and white feather. It's about a foot long.
Do you show the feather to people?
Yeah, she'll hold it up. Is this a bird that is native to these lands? I've only seen bugs.
Can I do a nature check?
Oh my god. Usefulness.
Yes.
No, can I be useful?
Well, let's see how competent he is. Make a nature check.
How can it couldn't be some form of leather? Fucking tanning all boys. Yeah, nah. Oh, no, screw it. I'm going to use my hero point because we get that at the end of each session, don't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Might as well.
16.
Okay. 16 is good enough. With a 16, you look this over. It's not a bird feather. And you would know that birds are not as commonly seen along the coast as they are in like our world, because the Kavor will hunt them into extinction. So most birds exist like towards the center of the mainland. However, this feather is much larger, and looking at the sort of the thickness of the I don't know the bird anatomy, but the judging the weight of it and the size of it and looking it over, and you sort of rack your brain for a second, and then I think images come back of a long time ago when you were scouting along the coast, far away from the nearest city that you had passed around. You came across a small outcropping, where most of the Kavor over there had been chased out of or hunted, and you found there a small clan of vicious feral harpies. And this feather reminds you, and you look at it, and you remember finding similar feathers in that area. I think you identify this as a harpy feather.
To help me remember, can I flavor it? That's when I found Crow.
Sure.
Memories of Crow keeps me happy. So I'll explain this as a harpy feather.
Oh, those are not common here, yes? Why would they have a harpy feather?
Maybe they have a harpy.
To put in their pirate hats, possibly? Or maybe throwing it out there. Maybe, I don't know. There's a harpy nearby.
What?
Maybe a harpy is leading the bugbears, sister.
Are harpies intelligent creatures?
Humans are, and I am here.
He says humans are, I think Annie's laughs.
She looks at her brother and then looks at the rest of the group like, this is bullshit, right? I don't...
I mean,
God.
Harpy's intelligent.
From your experience, they are the clan that you encountered was fairly vicious, hunting pretty much anything with came within a few miles of their den. But yes, they do possess intelligence. They use weapons and tools. They can speak. They choose not to interact with society in the most part, and kind of frown.
A harpy?
Maybe they kind of frown upon any of their kind that would actually speak with or interact with humans, but or mortal or other sentient creatures, I should say. But yeah, they're relatively intelligent creatures.
What the voice in the sky said came out of my mouth.
Well, then, do you think they are the ones that... I don't... monsters leading other monsters, it seems odd.
Depends what you consider a monster. If you're talking in just forms of races, makes sense. We're working with a diverse range of people. Maybe they're working with a diverse range.
I'll give you one other piece of flavor text too that you can share with everyone. Is that you also know that they hunt other sentient races. They sort of prefer, and their preference for foods of choice are humans and elves. So
Looks like meat's back on the menu. But then, well, wait.
Should I feel offended at that?
No,
Why?
perhaps-
Because they
Probably.
don't want to eat you?
No,
Probably.
because never mind.
Perhaps it's just so you have a thicker skin, or it's harder. Your muscles are more dense, so it's not quite
Yet something else humans are better at. Being
desirable
prey.
in flavors.
Whatever.
I'll trade you where they can want to eat you over me if you really want.
Hey, listen, if it can bleed, I can kill it, so I don't care.
Does that mean you can't kill a rock creature?
Right. Anyways, let us figure out what our next move is. They were going into town for a reason. Do we have any ideas what that could be? Just to kidnap someone?
Well, we
Probably
would
could
have.
followed it.
Sorry. Battle rage sort of takes over and motions to the corpses.
No, I think by the time that happened, we were long done on the following them plan.
Did anyone see my amazing ending superhero style?
Yes.
Self-survive and I'll climb.
There's still the cave. Someone's got to know something.
We're out there. Are we going towards the genocide option?
I think at this point we need to investigate the caves, see what we can discover. Seems like
And-
they were preparing to take you to captive. Maybe they have others captive.
And we
Perhaps.
also have to consider how many of them are in there.
Right. Do we have a way of disguising ourselves as bugbears?
What is the height difference between Samek and one of the bugbears?
How tall is Samek?
6'2".
You were about the same size as the shorter one.
Samek takes a scarf, wraps it around his head, but his face is like still visible.
Convincing.
I was gonna start.
I do this, and he
I could
Scarf over his
skin
mouth.
one, and you could wear it as a suit.
no.
That is
Hell no.
disgusting.
It's in
Why-
other worlds. It can work in this.
Why don't we not
I can.
do
okay.
that? Well, one of them is at least away from the entrance right now. I'll try to go in again. It's dark. They won't see me.
Do we really want to do going in alone?
You let me go in alone earlier.
I think at this point we should probably
Yeah, but then I
stick
witnessed that
together.
ferocity.
When we stick together, we get caught.
Well, you go a little bit ahead, but we are not just going to sit here and wait for you. We will be within messaging distance.
Your funeral.
Who else is sneaky? We gathered your sister. So that
I'm more of the talky sort.
Seems like none of you.
I'm sneaky.
I said,
Hard
no,
on.
I said, who else is
More
sneaky?
for her.
Was the question.
Because I'm
Alright.
quite vicious and dangerous, and going in alone would be death.
I just want to peek around the corner.
You muted.
Wait.
Samek turns to Anais. If you see any more of them, just come back.
I'll always come back for you. I just start going towards the cave.
Make a stealth check.
This one's gonna be the bad one, you guys.
Yeah, after the 229s.
It's gonna be the bad one.
Nice.
Okay, it's not that bad.
Not bad.
22.
22. Okay. You start heading down the path in the darkness. I assume as an elf you have low light vision.
Yes, I do.
Okay. You do have some starlight to navigate by. There's a little bit of light enough that you can see, but it's fairly dark now as you head towards the cave. The rest of you, are you staying where you're at, or are you going to follow behind at a distance?
Can I at least have Crow go with her? Low light, but also proficient in stealth.
I mean, you can send him, yeah.
I'm sending Crow to watch over Annie's.
I mean, you guys can follow me. It's not like I can stop you. I can barely hit the things I want to hit.
Yeah, I mean, I think Simon is giving her like a count of 30 and then starts slowly making his way along too. And he's like, we should at least be close enough to get there if things go south.
Okay, so is everyone stealthing?
Going to try.
Okay, I'll send Crow with Annie's in case she just gets grabbed and can't tell us she's in trouble.
Okay. Have Crow make a stealth check. Those of you that are behind, do all of you have low light vision? I'm pretty sure the humans don't. Okay. You will
Crow
need
does.
some kind of light. Yeah, Crow's fine. Crow is a
He's a me.
13. I will consider that.
I just get to 7.
Those of you that don't have low light vision, you will need some kind of light source, which will make sneaking kind of a non-starter. So.
Is anyone staying behind? Because I was gonna stay behind.
I'll stay behind with the squishy.
Or I can follow you with, like, just grab on to your shirt or something and follow you that way. But
Just hold my hand. It's not that big of a deal.
Wait, so is Samek the only one who can see?
Mm-hmm.
I have low light vision. I also have stealth, apparently. I'm trained. So
This is
Oh,
the
there you go.
one downside to nighttime infiltration.
Yeah, so it's just going to be a
everyone
a
just
fall
holding on to
leader. Everyone holding Samvik's hands as you're walking forward.
I guess.
Or you guys
Samvik-
gonna...
Sorry, Samek, you feel on your hand a scar that you don't remember getting, and it's rubbing against Zari's hand that has a similar scar.
Those of you that are... So all of you, the non-blind leading the blind.
Can we at least see the cave entrance? Is there light there?
No. Not immediately at the entrance. Actually, I'll say you can see a faint glow from within. Like there's some sort of light source within the cave, but it's just kind of a low glowing point far in the distance.
Not gonna lie, if Samek walked up with a torch, he would look from afar like a bugbear who has a torch, and we could use him as a guiding light.
While you are all debating this plan of sorts, your rogue, Ennis, you have skulked your way up to the central cave entrance that you can see this light coming out from. You peer around the corner, and you can see this cavern. It kind of narrows a bit towards the middle and seems to cut back. It looks like it extends back farther than you can see, but at least 80 to 100 feet. And out of sight, you can see the light source that you were noticing is along the back of the cave near the rounded point where it seems to curve inwards. Is a small campfire with 3 bugbears currently sitting around it. They are roasting something over the fire and chatting in low, husky voices in Goblin. There's plenty of shadows and cover along the other side of the cave. The light is just giving enough source to brightly light everything within about like 20 feet of the campfire itself.
I was gonna creep around like the far edge, past them.
Okay, make me a perception check.
23.
Okay, as you begin to creep into the cave, you do notice something strange. The ground leading into the cave seems worn in kind of a pattern that even though there's this big unobstructed entrance, there are areas of the ground that it seems that the creatures that have walked in and out frequently avoid.
Traps. I say inside my head.
Okay.
Mhm.
Oh,
I have a +1 bonus to perception checks to find traps.
So 24.
24.
You notice it even better.
Thank you. Can I wait for it? I'm gonna take out a piece of chalk.
Mm-hmm.
And do I see more than one of these?
Looks like there are two, about like 10-foot wide areas of the ground that are being avoided.
I am afraid that my friends are following me. I'm gonna take out a piece of chalk and right in front of the two spots, if I can, just draw like an X.
Okay.
And then put like a little A next to it, almost like a signature. Like don't step right here.
Okay. Yeah, you can.
And hope that they see it.
Yeah, you can tell where about it ends, and I think as you get closer and you draw the X, you can see there's like a thin, like wooden board or thin planks, not thick enough to probably carry a significant amount of weight, that are seeming to cover something on the ground here. You get the impression there's probably like a pit or something.
Yeah, I don't want to try to I can disarm stuff, but I don't want to try to disarm them while in the room with big, scary bugbears.
Sure. But you leave the chalk markings. See if your party, how close they come and if they've noticed them. You then circumvent those, keeping to the shadows. You get as close as you dare to the fire as you come around the edge of the cave. After passing those three bugbears, you notice a couple of things. There are a few other exits leading out from the back part of this cave. You're not sure if they connect with the smaller tunnels that you saw to either side, or at least you can't tell from where you're currently at. But near the kind of directly at the furthest point towards the back of the cave that you can see in the darkness, there's one tunnel that stands out because there are like two totems kind of stuck into the ground on either side, built of small pieces of metal and wood that have been kind of bound and fastened together, forming a shape that almost looks like a bird.
Okay. Can I hear anything coming from down there?
From down there, no. I think the sound of the bugbears that are about like 30 feet away from you at this point is kind of drowning that out. They're pretty loud in their conversation.
I'm gonna creep down a little bit more.
Okay. Are you going to the passageway that you're saying? And down that passageway?
Yeah, I don't want to go too far because I think she's assuming at this point that people are following her, but
sure. You reach the end of that passage and you kind of skulk down. It's pretty narrow, only about like 5 feet across. And actually looks like the stone has been kind of chipped away to like widen this passage just a little bit. Make another perception check for me.
bad. 11.
Okay, 11. As you head down the passage, it looks like it goes maybe about 30 or 40 feet. And you begin to make out towards like the end. It looks like it widens at the back into like a larger kind of secondary chamber. and you're getting a pretty bad smell coming from that way, of kind of rot and putrescence. It's not pleasant. But as you get to about a third of the way down the tunnel, you step on a section of the rock that gives a little bit under your foot. And then snapping up from the floor in front of you, there's a click, and a spear comes jettisoning out from the floor. I need you to make a... pretty sure it's a reflex. Oh, no, it makes an attack roll against you.
I get a bonus to my AC
Okay.
against attacks made by traps.
Okay, and I guess you could use your reaction to do the thing.
Nimble dodge. It's a creature targets you with an attack
Oh, okay.
for that one.
Is this around the corner from the entrance?
Yes. That is a 25.
Oh yeah, that hits me.
Okay. The spear. So it's not a crit though, right? It's what's your AC?
20 for a trap.
20. Okay. All right. You will take 13 points of piercing damage.
Okay.
As the spear strikes you and kind of jabs through your armor into your shoulder, you find yourself kind of falling backwards a bit. The mechanism has triggered. It doesn't like reset or anything. And there is kind of a clanging noise that comes along with it. And you hear some noise behind you from the... I think the conversation with the bugbears down the tunnel stops.
Don't move. I'm gonna listen to see if they start moving.
You hear kind of a and then you hear doof, 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 doof.
How big were the
some
totems
footfalls.
at the entrance?
Maybe about 10 feet tall, like a foot and a half wide.
Oh man. I was gonna try to like duck around the corner and hide behind one of them.
You might be able to. It's pretty dark over there.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no
Crows.
hiding in this tunnel, so.
If Crow saw him moving towards the way Anais went,
That's a good point.
probably would.
Yeah.
He would have stayed at the entrance because he is not an idiot, because mini dragons don't just fly inside caves. He's a smart bird. Dragon. He has more sense than Xander. He probably would make a noise to alert us that she's in trouble. Most likely.
Okay. So here's what I'll do. I'll have NAs here make another stealth check. The rest of you are outside and have been creeping along, and you have just about made it up to the edge of the cave. You see the light inside, and I guess I'm gonna have Samek make a stealth check, since you're kind of leading this group.
9.
Okay. So you guys are kind of crunching your way up, and you hear some muffled conversation of the bugbears and the grunts and the growling from within. The conversation stops at about the time you're reaching the mouth of the cave, and you begin to hear a noise from Crow. I don't know what Crow sounds like.
You sound like a vicious mini dragon. No, he really sounds pathetic. Yeah.
Just a little squeak from.
I don't know if the others
Crow.
would know to react, but Xander would know with that sound it means trouble, so he probably would be dumb and just run in. Because he's an idiot. So whoever I was holding hands with in our little sneaky Jenga line is no longer holding hands with Xander, who's now running.
Okay.
Oh, there's traps. Fuck.
There are.
I marked them, but
Yeah.
I rolled a 21 for stealth. Does it matter?
You did. You duck behind the totem as the bugbear comes padding to the edge of this tunnel, and as they get about, you're sensing about 15 feet or so away from you, the footfalls stop, and you begin to hear more growling from down the tunnel, and then the footfalls begin to more hastily retreat in the other direction, as Xander. You go running into the cave.
Wait, RJ mimics Samek trying to grab something. Is he trying to grab me?
You were gone. He was just like, what?
Xander, you go running in, and I'm just going to have you roll a... Just roll me a D2.
A D2? I don't even get a chance to perceive.
You are blinded until you get into that cave, so you're not even going to see the chalk on the ground.
I have a feat for being able to see the traps.
Yeah. If you're not looking for traps, you don't usually get a chance to roll.
There's a 1. Is that the one I want?
You want to take a guess?
It says it's red. I'm going to say no.
You feel the ground beneath you lurch as you step onto a trap door, and the ground breaks open, and you begin to go toppling down into this pit. You do have you can use grab an edge as a reaction to avoid falling.
Oh. Grab an edge,
which I think is
Simon and Samek just hear a
all you hear is a shit.
I think it's a reflex save.
Reflex save. Oh, I'm really good with these. 27.
That's enough. The ground collapses underneath you, and you just grab onto the other edge of the pit and hold yourself there, and looking down at about a 20-foot drop beneath you. But you don't fall.
Plant. Do they see me?
What?
Am I like hidden there?
So there's a loud crack as the wood breaks. You are not visually in the line of sight of the bugbears. Those of you are around the corner begin to hear the conversation as the bugbears that were originally going to investigate Anais turn and begin heading towards the mouth of the cave.
On the plus side, Anais is safe.
Sorry, you said you could make light. You may want to toss this in at them, and I'll hand her one of my spare flasks.
Do you want me to? Sorry, I'm a different character. Do you want me to set it on fire?
No, just light it up.
Oh.
There's not much that it would not burn very much.
All right, I'll cast light on it.
Okay, you cast light on the flask and chuck it into the cave.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what color your
20
light
foot.
is. Is it,
Oh.
is it an ominous blood red glow?
No, it's
or
like
is
an orange, like almost like a firelight candlelight.
Okay. And as you instill your magic into it, this orange light illuminates the edge of the cave. You see these convenient X's that have been drawn on the ground in front of these the traps. You know the location.
Signed
of the
with a
two
little
traps
A
now.
next to them because they're. So
Looks
you know
like
they're
you
for me.
started writing Xander. He assumed it's for him, and he went there. And
Oh, trust me. After this, it was.
So a couple things happen. the light illuminates the mouth of this cave. The bugbears, you hear the grinding of metal as weapons begin to get drawn. And you hear the footfalls of 3 bugbears now running towards the mouth of the cave, as you all begin to prepare yourself for a battle. However, Anais, as you are standing there waiting, you feel a gust of wind kind of emanate out from the tunnel that you're next to, and that kind of putrid smell fills the air, and you try to kind of not retch as that is happening, as it fills your nostrils. But along with that wind, you hear a song carried along the breeze, this beautiful melody unlike anything you've heard before, and it's soothing and calming. Let me actually check something real quick. I'm actually gonna want to make I'm gonna have you make a will save.
20.
That is a fail.
Okay.
And you immediately find yourself calmed by this eerie yet but beautiful melody. And the 3 bugbears also stop and lower their weapons as this happens. Those of you outside the cave also hear the music as well. You all need to make will saves too.
Oh boy.
I'm gonna use my hero point on fucking nature.
Ooh, that.
Nope.
I will remind you all that you have your hero points if you want to use them.
Yes.
I guess I'll
Anais, I
use
will
mine.
include you in that too if you want to.
No.
So I'm going to first use my halfling luck feature, which once a day I can, if I fail a skill check or saving throw, I can re-roll.
Okay.
Do you have to use the second one? Because I rolled a crit fail.
I
don't know if that means
That's a good
anything.
It would. So actually, let me check. Yeah, we'll get everybody. Keep in mind your final numbers. So,
Does a 14 make it?
I rolled a 20 and failed, so...
Oh, shit.
no, yeah,
Does a 25 make it?
that does.
Jesus Christ.
Okay, I may be
DCs
trying to
go up pretty quickly in this game. Just
Like I said,
FYI.
your funeral.
I found the roll.
You must
Sean.
use the second result.
Okay, I rolled a crit fail.
Yeah.
21.
21 succeeds.
Whew.
Did just putting it out there, Xander being super heroic and selfless all session, has he been awarded a hero point for being heroic and
No,
selfless?
he hasn't been awarded a hero point for doing the dumbass shit that he has done during this session.
What do you mean? I've been heroic. I pushed a lady bugbear over onto the ground, and
And also got the rest of us killed just now.
Okay,
so
so final. Let me get the final numbers. So Simon.
25.
Okay, so you succeeded. Zari.
21, but I do have a thing that if I succeed, it is a critical success instead of just a normal success.
Oh, I also have something about emotion effects.
So do I.
Yes, when you roll a success on a saving throw against an emotion effect, you get a critical success instead.
Okay.
Those of us who did succeed really succeeded.
Yeah.
Okay.
Your hobby
There's
on
no
Gutsy.
there's no additional effect for a critical success, but you are unaffected by what's going on, and you're immune to it for the next 24 hours.
Can they share it with others?
Nope. You rolled a critical fail, Anais, right?
I don't know.
What did you roll?
I too
12?
rolled a critical fail.
Perfect. So on a failure,
Which I'm assuming a 12 is just in the failure range.
on a failure, the creature is fascinated. It must spend all of its actions to move closer to the creature. as expediently as possible while avoiding obvious dangers. Let's see.
Watch this stomach's gonna turn on the two of you. Nana's is gonna turn on me, and I'll be like, "Hey, how's it going? What do you
There
do?"
is a critical failure success, but I will. I'll let you know when it comes up.
Ooh, boy.
But let's remember that Anais and Samek are currently have critically failed. I will mark it.
Because I'm sure we're in danger of forgetting that this happened.
And I think everyone kind of freezes for a moment. The bugbears stop, and you see these just creepy smiles form across their jagged, sort of goblin-like faces, and they turn and begin to walk back into the tunnel. Samek and Xander actually climbs out of the pit, and the two of them begin to walk into the tunnel.
No, guys, get back! What are they doing?
Oh, Crow also failed, just so you know.
Crow descends and begins to fly into the tunnel as well.
Do we know something was messing with our mind?
That is. Would we know that?
I think with a couple of seconds of watching what they're doing, they're just walking in, haunting Melody. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt of understanding that something's going on.
All right. I guess we should follow after them. I'm checking. Would this spell do anything useful? I don't think so at this point.
I'm gonna look for the marks and walk up on my brother and take the hilt of my dagger and smack him on the back of the head.
Okay.
Why?
Non-lethally, I'm assuming.
I mean,
Or
I have a -1 to strength, so I don't think I have much of a choice in that, but yes.
Yeah, I won't. I'll just say for the sake, because we got since we're need to wrap up here. Say you smack him in the back of the head. There's a crack, and I think his hand comes up and he touches it, but he continues to walk forward.
Oops. Let's not tell him that I did that because I thought that was going to work.
I think it's just like
try.
It's just like the most nonchalant kind of like ow as he just doesn't even care, just fascinated, heading into the cave. So the other two, you're going with them, or you're staying back?
I mean, we should go with them, see if we can stop whatever is doing this to them. Because it's either that or we let them go in and it's just you and I here.
Well, then let us proceed.
Okay. You all walk into the cavern and back into this tunnel. Annie arriving first. You all emerge into and unite with her in this second, smaller inner chamber, along with the three bugbears. And there is a blanket of bones and other filth kind of covering the floor in here. Various animal bones, probably some humanish bones mixed in. And at the back of the cave is kind of a raised stalagmite with the top that looks like it's been broken off to form sort of a flat surface. And on the top there is a nest of bound together long saplings and other large branches that have been woven to form this bowl. And sitting there in this nest is a woman with a human head and kind of scraggly gray hair that looks sort of matted and unkempt. She has eyes with slits for pupils, and as she sings, you can see her fanged teeth However, from the neck down, you see plumage growing from her skin, kind of matted and almost kind of sparse and bare at first, and then until her arms, where the plumage grows thicker, and you can see two large wings extending where her arms would be. And as her song ends, she looks down with her golden eyes at the retinue of creatures that have just entered as Zari and Simon, you...
Yeah, I think we don't go all the way into the chamber. I think we probably stay in the corridor.
Okay, you emerge from, or kind of get about halfway down the corridor to see what's going on. She smiles and surveys all of you and says, "What delicious creatures have found their way into my nest today? This will be fun." And that's where we're going to end our session for today. As you have been ensnared by the Harpy's song, we will see how that works out next time. Let me change the music. Do something happier. Good game, guys.
Was it?
It's fine.
We did good. Yep.
Things will be fine.
Guys will be good. What's the little failure is the spice of life.
Yeah.
You guys have had a
Someone
spicy
shouldn't have used
session.
I'm
their
sorry.
hero point.
I'm allergic to capsaicin, so
So good game, guys. We'll see how you deal. You guys have 2 weeks to decide how you want to deal with this. And yeah, so like I said, we'll be back in 2 weeks from today, which I believe will put us on the 23rd of February. So come and hang out with us then. We will have, between now and then, I'll go and just plug our stuff. You can check out our schedule below. We've got, as far as coming up this week, we have Tidefall on Wednesday. There won't be any Saturday nights this Saturday. Unfortunately, we're going to have to cancel our game this week. And then on Sunday, we'll have our next session of Slang 101. And then you should join us, not this Thursday, but next Thursday, for our new campaign, or our new, I guess, chapter or season of All Myths Are True, where we're playing Tales from the Loop. And you can catch that early, as that's also started. We got a lot of shows that have just kind of got kicked off this year, so get in while the getting's good. Yeah, I think that's about it for the next couple weeks. We'll have other streams maybe throughout the week, so just join us on Discord or Twitter, and you can get all of our announcements and all that good stuff there. I think that's it, though. Anybody else?
Thank you for the follows and for the
subs,
all
yeah.
of the subs. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone, for joining us here today and coming to watch. And we hope to see you back soon for other streams, and definitely come join us in 2 weeks to see how this continues. Awesome. Well, thank you to my players for playing. Thank you everyone out there for watching, and we'll see you until in 2 weeks. And until next time, good game and good night, internet.
Good afternoon.